Amanda stepped into the gleaming kitchen of the upscale restaurant in New York. The air was thick with the aroma of rich food and the clanging of kitchenware. Dressed in a worn-out coat and with her hair neatly tied up, Amanda slowly made her way toward the main kitchen area. Chef Lucas, the authoritative head chef of the restaurant, was barking orders at the staff, his tone sharp and domineering. When he noticed Amanda, he raised an eyebrow, his gaze dripping with disdain. "Kitchen help?" Lucas sneered, his voice icy. "Here? Did you think you were applying for a job at a fast food joint?" The other chefs burst into laughter, some whispering to each other as they eyed Amanda from head to toe. Amanda clenched her fists, her eyes remained resolute, but she said nothing. Amanda, 35, stands at the entrance of the upscale restaurant Le Grande in the heart of New York City. The gleaming sign reflects her anxious eyes. Just a year ago, she owned a small family restaurant in Texas, a cozy place where she cooked comfort food from the heart. But a devastating fire took everything away. With nothing left, Amanda moved to New York, hoping to start over. Inside the bustling kitchen of Le Grande, Amanda nervously hands her resume to Chef Lucas, a tall, stern-faced man with a reputation for being ruthless. Lucas glances over her resume, then smirks. "Texas, huh? Family restaurant? You think this is some barbecue joint?" The other chefs snicker, some whispering behind her back. Amanda clenches her fists, her face flushing with embarrassment. Lucas tilts his head and sneers. "All right, you can start with the dishes. If you do well, maybe, just maybe, I'll let you touch a knife." Amanda takes a deep breath. Beneath her calm exterior, a fire begins to burn. "I'll show them," she whispers to herself, eyes glinting with determination. Amanda stands in the corner of the break room, holding a cup of stale coffee. The room buzzes with chatter as the other chefs swap stories about the latest culinary trends, expensive truffles, and Michelin-starred dishes. Amanda takes a deep breath, then approaches a group of junior chefs, hoping to learn more about the restaurant's signature dishes. "Hey, could you tell me about the plating technique for the sea bass?" Amanda asks with a polite smile. Kelly, a junior sous chef with perfectly styled hair and a smug expression, looks Amanda up and down. "Oh, you mean the dish with the beurre blanc sauce? Yeah, that's a bit too advanced for someone who's only ever fried chicken and mashed potatoes." The other chefs snicker. One of them, Daniel, pretends to stir a pot dramatically, mimicking Amanda's small-town cooking. "Yeehaw! Tonight's special, Texas barbecue steak with extra grease." The group bursts into laughter, and Kelly steps closer to Amanda. "Listen, sweetheart. This is Le Grande. We don't need your grandma's recipes or your home-cooked charm." Amanda's jaw tightens, but she forces a smile. "Right. Got it." She turns away, her knuckles white as she grips the coffee cup. The laughter echoes in her ears, but instead of walking away defeated, she heads back to the kitchen station, eyes blazing with determination. "They don't know what I'm capable of yet," she whispers to herself, her mind already forming a plan. The kitchen is abuzz with excitement as Chef Lucas gathers the staff in the center of the room. The air is thick with anticipation. Lucas claps his hands together, a sly grin on his face. "Listen up, everyone. We're hosting an internal cooking competition. The winner gets promoted to sous chef and a chance to create a new signature dish for the restaurant menu." Amanda's eyes light up. This is the chance she's been waiting for, a chance to prove herself and show her skills. Before she can even raise her hand, Kelly steps forward with a smug smile. "Count me in, chef. I've got a recipe that will blow everyone away." Amanda takes a deep breath, her hand halfway up. "Chef Lucas, I'd like to participate too." Lucas turns to Amanda, his expression turning from neutral to dismissive in an instant. "You? Participate?" He chuckles, his laughter echoing through the kitchen. "Amanda, you couldn't even make a proper hollandaise sauce last week. You think you can handle a competition where the judges are food critics and restaurant owners?" The kitchen staff exchanges glances, some smirking, others whispering. Kelly leans closer to Amanda, lowering her voice. "Why don't you stick to what you're good at, washing dishes?" Lucas points to the back of the kitchen, where stacks of dirty dishes are piled high. "In fact, why don't you get started right now? Those plates aren't going to wash themselves." Amanda's heart sinks as she watches the other chefs excitedly gather around Lucas, discussing their dishes and plans. Her fingers clench into fists, nails digging into her palms. As she turns to the sink, the clinking sound of dirty plates feels like a cruel reminder of how far she's fallen. "They're underestimating me," she whispers, eyes narrowing. "But they won't for long." Amanda's tired eyes stare blankly at the pile of dirty dishes before her. The clinking of porcelain against metal sinks echoes through the empty kitchen, but her mind drifts elsewhere, back to a time when she wasn't the one scrubbing plates. Flashback. A small, cozy restaurant in Texas. The air is filled with the warm, comforting scent of roasted pumpkin and fragrant spices. Amanda, wearing a crisp white chef's coat embroidered with her name, stands proudly behind the counter. Customers murmur in delight as they taste her signature pumpkin soup, a dish that earned her the Best Soup in Texas award 2 years in a row. Her father, who owns the restaurant, beams with pride, patting her on the back. "You're going to go far, Amanda. You have the magic touch," he says. Amanda smiles, eyes shining. The restaurant is more than just a place to cook. It's a part of her soul. But then a flames. The orange glow of a devastating fire consumes the restaurant. Amanda stands outside in the pouring rain, clutching her apron to her chest, tears mixing with the raindrops as she watches everything she's ever known crumble into ashes. Back to present. Amanda blinks, her jaw clenched as she forces herself to focus on the present. The kitchen is empty now, the staff having gone home. She looks around, making sure no one is watching. Taking a deep breath, she walks over to the pantry and gathers the ingredients she knows by heart: pumpkin, cream, nutmeg, a hint of cinnamon. Each chop, each stir, each sprinkle of spice is a memory of who she once was. The kitchen fills with the familiar, comforting aroma of her award-winning pumpkin soup. The scent wraps around her like a warm embrace, reminding her of the days when she was someone, when her name meant something in the culinary world. Amanda pours the golden soup into a porcelain bowl, garnishes it with a drizzle of cream and a sprig of fresh thyme. She places the bowl in the fridge, her hands shaking slightly. For a brief moment, she allows herself to close her eyes, inhaling deeply. The scent is like a lullaby from a life she's desperately trying to reclaim. Before leaving, she glances back at the soup, her eyes reflecting both pain and determination. "Let them taste what they threw away," she whispers to herself, her voice heavy with emotion. Then, without another word, she disappears into the night. The next morning, the bustling kitchen of Le Grande is filled with the aroma of rich, creamy pumpkin soup. Lucas, holding a spoon, takes a careful sip. The warmth of the velvety soup spreads through him, its delicate balance of spices and creaminess lingering on his palate. He closes his eyes, savoring it. This is incredible," he murmurs, eyes widening. The other chefs glance over curiously. "Who made this?" Lucas asks, his tone both amazed and curious. Kelly, who has been watching from the corner, steps forward with a smug smile. "Oh, it's a new recipe I came up with," she says, tossing her hair back confidently. Lucas raises an eyebrow, impressed. "Well, Kelly, this is the best dish I've tasted in months. If you keep this up, you might just have a shot at the sous chef position." Amanda, who had just stepped into the kitchen, freezes. Her eyes lock onto Kelly, who is now basking in the compliments, acting as if she were the culinary genius behind the dish. Amanda clenches her fists, feeling a tight knot of frustration and betrayal forming in her stomach. From across the room, she watches as Kelly continues to accept the praise that rightfully belongs to her. Every word of Lucas's praise cuts deeper, each one a bitter reminder that no one sees her true potential, not even when it's right under their noses. The sound of Kelly's fake laughter echoes in her ears as Amanda turns away, her jaw clenched. Tears sting her eyes, but she blinks them back, determined not to let anyone see her break. One evening, the bustling atmosphere of Le Grande suddenly shifts as a group of well-dressed, distinguished guests enters the restaurant. The maitre d' greets them with an air of respect, immediately recognizing their VIP status. The leader of the group, an older gentleman with a charming southern accent, nods in approval. "We've heard a lot about this place," he says, "but we sure missed that little spot in Texas. There was this pumpkin soup there, unforgettable." Lucas, overhearing the conversation, approaches the group with his signature confident smile. "Welcome to Le Grande. We're honored to have you. Anything special you'd like tonight?" The older gentleman nods, his eyes lighting up. You wouldn't happen to have pumpkin soup, would you? There was a little restaurant down in Texas that served the best one we've ever had. A hint of panic flickers across Lucas's face. He turns to Kelly, who is busy prepping salads. Pumpkin soup? You made it the other day, right? He whispers. Kelly hesitates, her confidence waning. I don't actually know how to make it. I kind of just tasted it in the fridge. Lucas's face hardens as he realizes the truth. He looks around the kitchen, his mind racing. Desperate, Kelly finally spots Amanda, who is cleaning dishes in the corner. She rushes over, her tone almost pleading. Amanda, please, you know how to make that soup, right? Can you help me? The VIP guests are asking for it. Amanda pauses, her back still turned. For a moment, the kitchen falls silent, waiting for her response. Slowly, Amanda turns around, her eyes calm but resolute. Figure it out yourself, she replies, wiping her hands and walking out the back door. Kelly stands there, stunned, as the gravity of her lie slowly sinks in. Lucas stands in the kitchen, nervously stirring a pot of pumpkin soup. Beads of sweat form on his forehead as he takes a spoonful and tastes it. His face immediately twists in disgust. The soup is bland, watery, nothing like the rich, velvety texture of the original. Meanwhile, out in the dining area, the VIP guests exchange disappointed glances as they sample the soup. The older gentleman, clearly unimpressed, puts down his spoon with a sigh. This isn't it. Not even close, he mutters. I need to speak to the manager. In the kitchen, Kelly shifts uncomfortably under Lucas's sharp gaze. Kelly, he hisses through clenched teeth. What is this? This is the soup you said you made. Kelly stammers, her face flushed with embarrassment. I lied. I didn't make it. It was Amanda. The entire kitchen staff goes silent, all eyes turning to Amanda, who is quietly chopping vegetables in the corner. Lucas's jaw tightens. Swallowing his pride, he approaches Amanda, his tone clipped and forced. Amanda, he says, forcing a smile, we need your help. The guests are requesting the pumpkin soup, the one you made. Amanda doesn't look up. She continues to slice through a carrot with calm, deliberate motions. You said I wasn't good enough to cook anything here, remember? Lucas's fists clench. The tension in the kitchen is palpable. Finally, he exhales, his voice dropping to a near whisper. Please, Amanda, help me fix this. Amanda finally meets his eyes, her expression unreadable. After a beat of silence, she sets down the knife and takes a deep breath. Fine, she says, her voice firm. But I'm doing it my way. The kitchen staff watches in awe as Amanda steps up to the stove, rolling up her sleeves and taking control. Amanda ties the apron around her waist, her eyes sharp and focused. The entire kitchen staff watches in stunned silence as she steps up to the stove, her movements swift and confident. She pulls out the freshest pumpkins, slicing them with precision. The rich aroma of roasted pumpkin fills the kitchen as she sautés onions, garlic, and a secret blend of spices. Lucas stands nearby, arms crossed, eyes fixed on Amanda. There's a subtle shift in his expression, a mix of curiosity and something almost resembling respect. Kelly, meanwhile, watches from a distance, biting her lip nervously. As Amanda stirs the pot, her mind flashes back to her old kitchen in Texas, the warmth of the small restaurant, her mother's encouraging smile, the sound of customers laughing and praising her cooking. That memory fuels her, steadying her hands as she carefully pours cream into the soup, swirling it into a silky, golden masterpiece. Moments later, the server carries the steaming bowls of pumpkin soup to the VIP table. The guests lean forward, inhaling the rich, comforting aroma. The older gentleman takes a spoonful, closes his eyes, and savors it. A slow, satisfied smile spreads across his face. This is the soup, he says, his voice filled with nostalgia. It's exactly like the one we had in Texas. Another guest nods, wiping away a tear. It's even better. Lucas exchanges a look with Kelly, his jaw clenched. The guests stand up, clapping their hands and calling out, "We want to meet the chef." Amanda wipes her hands on her apron, takes a deep breath, and steps out from the kitchen. As soon as she appears, the room erupts in applause. The older gentleman walks over to her, his eyes shining. "You brought back so many good memories," he says, shaking her hand. Amanda bows her head slightly, her heart pounding with both pride and relief. Lucas stands frozen in place, eyes cast downward, his jaw clenched. The applause from the dining room has subsided, leaving only the low hum of murmurs and whispers. Kelly steps forward, her hands nervously wringing the edge of her apron. Her eyes are red, glistening with unshed tears. She takes a shaky breath and forces herself to meet Amanda's gaze. "I was wrong," Kelly says, her voice trembling. "I judged you without knowing anything about you. I thought you were just some clueless woman from a small town. But you're an incredible chef." Amanda remains silent for a moment, her expression calm but unreadable. Then she steps closer, placing a gentle hand on Kelly's shoulder. "You know," Amanda says softly, "people often think that talent can be seen on the surface, in fancy clothes or prestigious titles. But the truth is, real talent reveals itself in the taste, in the heart and soul you put into every dish." Kelly bites her lip, tears finally spilling over. "I'm sorry," she whispers. "I stole your moment and tried to take credit for something I didn't do." Amanda gives her a small, forgiving smile. "The kitchen is a place where we learn, not just to cook but to respect each other. Next time, don't try to be someone you're not. Let your food speak for you." Behind them, Lucas finally lifts his head, his face pale and tense. His eyes meet Amanda's for a brief second before he quickly looks away. There's a heaviness in the air, a tension that can only be broken by words he's not ready to say. Not yet. Lucas stands in the center of the bustling kitchen, his eyes scanning the room as the staff prepares for the special dinner event. The scent of roasted pumpkin and warm spices fills the air. Amanda's signature pumpkin soup is now the star dish of the evening. The servers carefully ladle the golden, velvety soup into porcelain bowls, garnishing each with a delicate swirl of cream and a sprinkle of toasted pumpkin seeds. Lucas takes a deep breath, then steps forward, tapping a spoon against a glass to get everyone's attention. The clinking sound echoes through the kitchen, and the staff falls silent. "Tonight," Lucas begins, his voice firm but sincere, "we're serving Amanda's pumpkin soup, the dish that has not only impressed our VIP guests but also reminded us of what true culinary artistry is all about." He turns to Amanda, who stands at the back, her expression calm yet resolute. "Amanda," Lucas continues, taking a step closer to her, "you've shown everyone here what passion and dedication really mean. I'd like to officially offer you the position of sous chef. You deserve it." Amanda's eyes soften, but she shakes her head gently. "Thank you, Lucas, but I have to decline," she says. Lucas's eyebrows knit together in surprise. "I've decided to go back to Texas," Amanda explains, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "I'm going to reopen my family's restaurant and bring back the flavors that made it special." Lucas looks taken aback, his expression a mix of shock and regret. "But you could do so much here," he says, almost pleading. Amanda smiles warmly. "I appreciate it, Lucas. Truly. But it's time for me to write my own story, the way I always dreamed. And when I reopen, you'll be the first guest of honor," she says, extending her hand. Lucas takes her hand, giving it a firm shake, his eyes shining with genuine respect. "I'll be there," he promises. As Amanda walks away, the staff watches her go, their eyes filled with admiration. Amanda stands in front of the newly renovated restaurant in Texas. The sign above the entrance glows softly, bearing the name Amanda's Kitchen. The warm, golden light spills onto the sidewalk as she takes a deep breath, feeling the cool evening breeze brush against her skin. The air is filled with the faint aroma of pumpkin and spices. Her signature soup is simmering inside, waiting to greet the first guests. She reaches for the door handle, her eyes sparkling with determination and fulfillment. True talent doesn't need to shout. It just needs one chance to shine. Amanda pushes open the door, stepping inside as the bell above chimes softly. Inside, the restaurant is cozy and inviting, filled with rustic wooden tables, soft lighting, and the familiar scent of home-cooked meals. A couple of customers enter, smiling warmly as they greet Amanda. "Welcome to Amanda's Kitchen," she says with a genuine smile, her heart swelling with pride. If this story made you think, hit subscribe for more powerful life lessons.